Hi, my name is Kathleen Thompson, and welcome to my book critique set 5. For my featured text, I chose The Magic School Bus Inside a Hurricane, an informational text written by Joanna Cole and illustrated by Bruce Dagan. I chose this book because I thought it was interesting how an informational text is written in the form of a story. There are also so many uses for this book, the most obvious being science. I also really like how the Magic School Bus books are in a series, so not only can this book be used individually, but it can also be included into a unit with other books of its kind. The author of this book has won numerous awards, and this book in particular has won a lot of state book awards. It is a story about Mrs. Frizzle and her crazy class field trips. In this trip, the class traveled through a hurricane, and students learned all kinds of facts about the weather. This text did a great job at telling the story and providing a ton of information about weather and hurricanes. For my first activity, I chose to use this book in a kindergarten classroom to talk about the different modes of transportation and improve their literacy skills. In the book, the bus that takes the students on this trip is magical and transforms into various types of transportation throughout the story. After reading The Magic School Bus Inside a Hurricane, students will get into pairs. Each group should have a set of index cards with various modes of transportation on them and 2 elastic headbands. Students will use these materials to play the game Headbands with their cards. Each student places a card on their head without looking and then proceeds to ask their partner questions to try and guess what is on their card. The first question students must ask their partner is, "Where would you find me?" This is to ensure that students are able to identify whether that specific transportation is found in the water, air, or on the ground. Continue playing until all the cards are gone. This is a game that I actually created in another class and played with my kindergarten field students. The picture shows just a few of the cards and a question card that students can use if they are struggling to think of something to ask. When I played it in the classroom, the students loved it. It took a round or two for them to get used to how the game worked, but after that, they were able to play it all on their own. For my second activity, I decided to use this book in a second grade science classroom to talk about different types of weather. After reading The Magic School Bus Inside a Hurricane, students will each choose some sort of weather phenomenon to research. Students will then use iPads or computers with a camera and create a Flipgrid presenting what they have found. Just like the students in the book wrote their findings on hurricanes in their journals, these students will be creating a virtual journal entry on the class Flipgrid. In their Flipgrid, students must include what their weather form is, 2 vocabulary words, and 3 other facts about their type of weather. The Flipgrid will also be a video of themselves speaking, so students can write a script and even hold up pictures or illustrations to help themselves with the video. Here is an example Flipgrid that was created in our class. In this one, students were to explain what they love about poetry. For this activity, though, students will submit a video about their type of weather. This example just shows what the final compilation of videos will look like and what each individual video will look like when pulled up. While students are watching their classmates' videos, they can even react to each other's posts. The rating could even be used as an assessment for this activity. Overall, though, this shows what the Flipgrid platform will look like. Here are the other books that I read and critiqued for this set. Radiant Child is a Caldecott Medal and Coretta Scott King Award winner that chronicles the life of Michael Jean Basquiat, who grows up to be a famous artist. It shows how he found art in everything and was so persistent in his goals and aspirations. This book also has wonderful illustrations to go along with the story, and they feature certain symbols that Jean Michael used in his work. Dave the Potter is a Caldecott Honor Book and a Coretta Scott King Award winner about Dave, a slave that made pottery and wrote poems on them while he was alive. Dave is known to be one of the best potters of that time, and the only information they knew about him comes from his poems that he wrote on his pots. This book tells what we know of his story. Words Set Me Free chronicles the life of Frederick Douglass. It begins when he is a child and goes all the way through to when he escaped up north using the power of words. His whole life, he secretly learned how to read and write, and those words are what set him free. This book was named one of CBC's Best Children's Books of the Year. Bud Not Buddy is a Newbery Medal winner about a 10-year-old boy named Bud who is living during the Great Depression. He runs away from yet another foster home to try and track down his father, who is part of a jazz band. He goes through many trials along the way, and when he finally finds his father, he ends up finding a home with the jazz band and its owner, his grandfather. Juan de Pareja is about Juan, an African-American slave in Spain. When he was young, his mother died, and soon after, so did his caretaker. He then gets passed around to the care of many, being beaten and starved until he is placed with Diego. While here, he begins to learn how to paint and does it in secret. But it is this painting skill that allows him to become free, painting portraits of all kinds of important people. This book won the Newbery Medal. The Kid's Guide to Money is all about managing one's money. It does not have to be read in order and contains chapters full of information about handling money for children. Topics range from earning, spending, banking, sharing, borrowing, and growing money. Experiments with Water is full of step-by-step experiments that students can perform with water. With a wide variety of experiments, there are plenty of lessons that children can learn about science from this book. One of the experiments is pictured here with white flowers, and students observe what happens when you put them in water with different colored food coloring in them. Thank you for watching my 5th and final book critique.